Another aspect of racing that's probably unusual for a lady to participate in, you won the Filly Factor commentating contest, also in 2011. Did you wish to pursue that as a career?
No, I think that is one of the most demanding things I've ever done. I've covered most areas in horse racing, but race commentating is something that I don't actually think I've got the ability to do. I could watch a race, remember the silks and whatnot, and comment on it, but not to the standard in this country. I think it's absolutely second to none, and I think we've got wonderful commentators in this country. It is incredibly intense. I think people focus on their mistakes more than they ever are praising them. I think the last couple of years, to be fair, actually, I think commentators have had a little bit of a pat on the back, dare I say it, which they thoroughly deserve, which has been nice to hear, because normally people are just forgetting how good they are and are quick to pick up, when they might call the wrong horse, but it's just typical human error. But no, I gave it a good go. Really enjoyed it. I found it very eye-opening. I got some training with, I think, some of the best in the business. They told me what they're looking for. It helped me read a race. It helped me to read a race even better, because obviously I've watched it. If my brothers are riding, if we've got a runner, I've ridden in races, so I could race read, but it was just it was making it a more sort of whole encompassing way of watching a race. So I learned a lot from the experience, and it's something that I'd love to have started when I was really young, but I think you've got to have that confidence and that passion from probably when you're a teenager, because I think it's an incredibly hard thing to do. The short-term memory, getting the names of the horses in your head and out again. I've got so much respect for commentators, so I learned a lot from it, but more than anything, just how good the commentators in this country are.
How long did that run for, that competition?
It ran for a few months. It was a while ago now. I remember the weekend came when it was the King. No, it wasn't the King George weekend. I think it was the King George weekend actually, but a few years ago when it used to be on a Saturday and the Sunday. So I remember I rode on the Saturday and was lucky enough to win on Captain Ramius, and then the following day I had to commentate in the final. So it was a good weekend, a very successful weekend, and my best weekend probably ever at Ascot. But so yeah, I think that started off back in must have been about April time or May time at Doncaster. So it was a good experience, good initiative, and I'm sure at some point there will be a female commentator in this country. I think it'll be very tough, but I'm sure there'll be someone good enough that has the ability to do it. I think it's a great skill.
Okay, so you've ridden in races, you've commentated on races, and now I understand you've studied production, and now you're in front of the camera. So have you found your vocation in front of the camera?
I'd hope to think so. I enjoy it. I've still got a lot to learn. I'm lucky enough, I've had a lot of help over the years. I get a lot of feedback as well, so it's always really appreciated when people take me under their wing and advise me. It's racing.com over in Australia, and Shane Anderson, who gave me a go in front of the camera. So it was quite funny going around the other side of the world, but in a way that was quite nice, because I suppose it didn't have the usual attention of everyone knowing me in this country. So it was a good way to find my feet, and I'll be eternally grateful for them for giving me that opportunity, and then throughout the races for letting me pursue my passion. But it was good to do the production behind the scene, because it meant that I got a good understanding of how a programme comes together.
So I was going to ask that, so does it helps you as a presenter to know what goes into the production?
Yeah, definitely. And when you've got all these abbreviations written down on a running order, you know exactly what they mean as well.
And would you say that the racing media is an equal opportunities industry as far as young women getting into the game are concerned?
Yeah, for sure. If anything, I think it's a good time to be a female, and things seem to be happening a lot better if you're a woman. The gender balance seems to be getting stronger and stronger. Women are fighting for a lot more. So yeah, I actually believe that if you're a woman coming into our sport, you've probably got a better chance of getting even put forward than some men that maybe you shouldn't be getting put forward in front of.
So you've done a lot in the industry. Do you have any goals to try anything else in the future? And what's been the highlight so far?
No immediate goals, just to continue to improve, get better, take on board advice that I get from producers, try and just get people to enjoy the sport as much as I do. And I suppose it would just be looking forward to covering some bigger days, the big Group 1 days on the English calendar, whether it's on the flat or even the grade ones and the big occasions over the jump. So just continue to get better and better.
Now, I'm assuming that somebody in the media doesn't mind being recognised, but you transcended racing media and became worldwide famous overnight for that catch. Can you tell us a little bit about that incident, please?
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting that. I was just at Chepstow watching the race and could see Give 'em a Clump had unshipped his rider, and the horse unfortunately continued to do 2.5 laps of Chepstow, which is actually over 5 miles. And I'd done my winning interview, spoke to the jockey that won the race. I strolled back up and this poor horse was still galloping around the track. There was a few people that had gone out to try and stop him, and I thought I should go and give them a hand, really. I had nothing better to do and didn't want racing to be held up, and most importantly didn't want this horse to hurt himself. So he'd done a lot of galloping. 5 miles is a long way, it's further than a Grand National, and he'd been going at a fair old speed as well. So I just thought I'd go and give him a hand, and luckily I caught it, and it stopped very quickly. Normally if you grab a horse and you get dragged, you'll give up, you'll let go, but this horse was absolutely exhausted and he stopped very quickly, and thankfully he was okay. And wasn't expecting that reaction, but my cameraman John was very quick to pick up his camera and not miss a moment.
They make quite light of that, but a speeding horse that weighs probably the amount of a small family car, did you have second thoughts and it was too late?
No, I was actually just stood to the side of him, and I thought I'd try and grab his reins. He was going quite fast and I got knocked over, which probably made it all the dramatic, but I'm used to having to try and catch loose horses. Growing up in Brighton, on the inside of the racetrack there's actually a main road, so you normally do whatever you can to catch a loose horse. Where we are now it's a lot safer, so there's never quite that desperation, but I suppose I've had a lot of practice over the years of catching loose horses.
And did you enjoy being interviewed live on the national news?
It was a bit odd, really, a bit weird, but I guess that what I did was quite funny to watch, and made a few people laugh, and I don't know, it was something that I don't think I'll be repeating again, because I wouldn't want that attention.
Well, I was going to say, have you got any advice for girls who want to break into the horse racing industry, but I think you've already explained that you don't think really there's much of a difference these days. So what advice would you give to anybody starting out in work or a career that wants to break into the horse racing industry, which sometimes seems quite insular or a closed shop?
Make sure you do it for all the right reasons. Make sure it's what you want to do. It's a very tough game. It's got to be part of your life. You can't look at it as work. The hours are long. The hours are unsociable. So make sure that it is exactly what you want to do. I couldn't think of anything better than working with thoroughbred race horses, and I feel very lucky. But if it is what you want to do, then actually I think that the door is very open to anybody, whether you can ride, whether you've had experience. There's all sorts of people that will help you. So don't think about it, just come and do it, as long as you know it's what you want to do.
Brilliant. Hayley Moore, thank you very much.
Thank you.